All right, that one animation costs $400. That's just a joke. All right, so today,
Anyone going to join?
sorry,
Anybody from the board?
no, it's just you and I today, Ramakanta. Um, this is going to be recorded. I've already sent the slides to the executive directors of 65 Square, and they have the financials as well. And then that's the most important thing is that we hold the AGM so that we can do the annual. There is an annual uh, what's it called? An annual return.
Mhm.
So the annual return is due within the next couple weeks, and the AGM has to happen before that.
Yeah, the tax return, yeah.
Yeah. So as you may know, the AGM is just a general kind of check-in, sort of a state of the union of the corporation. 65 Square, as you know, is an independent for-profit entity, which is solely owned by Defend. And today we're going to be covering a few things. The mission of 65 Square, as it was last updated last year, updates on the current projects, future milestones, and closing remarks and Q&A. So our mission for 65 Square must align with our mission for Defend. And generally, this comes from the obligations in law in a nonprofit owning a for-profit entity in the corporate structure that we've chosen. The for-profit entity of our organization is essentially to further Defend's mission. In doing that, we are looking to build the world's healthiest social media platform, which will in turn protect people online by accountability, verification, services offered through 65 Square, and by creating social media services for the general public, which are designed to be focused on promoting wellness for its users. Everybody always wants to know how long until Dating Square is going to be on the app stores. And while we don't have an exact date, we know that we are somewhere in the 94% completed range. We are very, very close. We have very few issues remaining throughout all of the development teams. Um, it's very hard to estimate as we've had a lot of ups and downs in the development process, but we are very, very close, and 94% complete is pretty much until we get to a place where we are ready to start with full-blown beta testing, and we already have a team of beta testers ready to go. They've been helping with testing of other parts of the system, but uh, we are very excited to get them kind of set up and actively communicating with each other inside the system as they're supposed to be. The full social media system, these are estimates, is somewhere around 32% complete. And this is just generally an estimation, but that's accounting for the front end work as well as the back end. Um, this wouldn't be nothing without our business app. So we have an accompanying mobile application that is going to be sort of the heart and soul of the system. allowing for content creators and businesses to set up a new economy inside the cyberspace that we're going to be building. And we are significantly further along. We're about 60% complete with our business app. And that also connects to an e-commerce website. The e-commerce website will essentially be the output for the business app. And it will basically have sort of a public facing look and feel, something like Amazon, that would also be combined with a service like Patreon or a subscription-based service, because users that aren't logged into the full social media system, they will be able to go on the website and patronize the businesses. They will be able to sign up for content creators, getting their content. And generally speaking, they will be able to have sort of a gateway into our system. We are significantly further along compared to the full social media system. But we have a significant portion of the back end to be completed. So we're about 62% complete on the e-commerce side. So in total, we're going at a very safe pace. I think with all of the things that we've learned with Dating Square, all of these things will come into play when it comes to deploying and preparing the full social media system and the business app. And these aren't the only projects under 65 Square, but these are the significant ones. We have also 65 Scan, which is already on the app stores. It is for iOS only right now. And 65 Scan connects these products together. Eventually, we will be having 3D scanned people inside Dating Square. And that's sort of the forethinking that we had in mind a couple years ago when we first started developing the 3D scanning app. But that's what 65 Scan is. It's for scanning 3D objects. It scans people fairly well. It scans objects up to about the size of a car. And we've tested it on things that are bigger as well. But generally speaking, it can scan quite a large number of different items and objects. And yeah, for 65 Square in general, we are pre-revenue. We do have some deferred sales that have been made. Those have been accounted for under the books of Defend as deferred revenue for the future. They're not accounted for in the current financials. Current financials show zero, basically across the board. Right now, though, our focus is on social media and growing our brand and building good campaigns so that we can build the brand name of 65 Square before it's even launched. And that's so very important because we have community to build, and we want to kind of have people ready, and we already do have people ready and waiting for our service to come online. But the three major campaigns that are active right now are sort of a taste testing campaign where we put the pre-deployed Dating Square app in the hands of people and we film their reactions. They're candid, real, natural reactions from regular everyday people that we have met up with on the streets. This campaign is doing fairly well on YouTube and on other socials, and generally it's a good source for us bringing in people to our brand. We're also pushing forward with more content in a different nature, which is hidden camera stuff, and trying to have a more entertaining feel to what it is that we're doing in the space. And with the hidden camera stuff, we are focused primarily on bringing about um, messaging that has occurred on other dating apps and putting it square in the face of random people on the street again. But in this scenario, they're not aware of the camera until we tell them. They're not aware that we're filming. And this kind of natural reaction has people see the real truth behind what's happening on dating apps. And that's so very important in building our brand because we want to distinguish our brand from these traditional dating apps, if you will, which is 99% of dating apps. And we've started on a third campaign, and that's going fairly decently, which is taking the messages that have been sent on other dating platforms like Tinder and Hinge and the major dating apps, taking the messages, the atrocious and egregious messages that usually men have sent to women, and we're turning it into songs, and very entertaining and funny songs. And all three of these combined are bringing us lots of traffic, more traffic, significantly more traffic than where we were 1 year ago. On YouTube alone, we have 510% growth in our views on our YouTube channel alone from the previous 365 days. So a 510% growth is significant, not only for us, but for anybody on YouTube. Comparatively speaking, would I like to see our subscriber numbers up more than 82%? Absolutely. But I think there's only so fast that we can grow. We need to have a viral success. And eventually we will hit a viral video. Right now, I think our biggest video on YouTube has probably gotten maybe 5 or 6,000 views on our 65 square channel, which is not a lot in the terms of YouTube, but we're working on it and we see progress coming. And on the other side, we see other numbers from the marketing side. We have on this top right hand side here, we have our numbers from 65 scan on the App Store. And just in the last 30 days, we've done 2,000 impressions. So 2,000 people have seen our brand on the App Store. Now, this hasn't converted to a lot. We've only converted about 1% of those people. And that has equated to about 19 downloads. But this is part of our marketing plan. Part of our marketing plan was to essentially build a product that we could get on the app stores easily, that would serve some purpose long term as far as being functional, and would also bring people to our brand. And that's what it's doing. In the last year, it's done 164 downloads and has had impressions on almost 20,000 people, which is significant for pretty much an unknown brand on the app stores. Ultimately, though, what we're trying to do is just work on one person at a time. And right now, we have our app, 65 Scan, on people's phones in 47 different countries around the world, which is so very exciting. The majority of those are in Canada, followed by the US. But outside of that, we are slowly building an audience. We have an Instagram account that's dedicated to showcasing the content of 65scan. And we have a lot of really interesting campaigns coming around 65scan in the new year. And as I said earlier, we are looking to build community. This is so very important for us. We are preparing for some major marketing campaigns. And some of those I have for viewing today. So these two campaigns are going to be something that we push for paid advertising in the next 3 to 4 months on YouTube and on other places. This first one is one of our video editors from our marketing team worked on this for the last month and a half, and he took video clips from some of those interviews that we've been doing with people on the street, and he's been making this 1-minute cut.
Introducing Dating Square by 65square.
Wow.
The only all-verified, gamified, ad-free, catfish-free blind dating app.
This is fun.
After going through our secure verification process, you'll need to select a city in which you'd like to date in. There will be a secure facial analysis every time you log in to make sure you're you. Don't worry, only your age and legal first name will be visible to others.
Okay, that's so cool.
There are 3 main dating features: Blind Match, 3D games, and Swipe. For Blind Match, you will ask 3 people questions that can be asked either through text or a voice chat. Match up while playing a game of chess to check each other's vibes. Swipe will look most familiar to people who've tried traditional dating apps before. We've even built in a 2-hour daily timer to kick you off every day because your wellness is important to us. Check out Dating Square in the App Store today.
So let's ad number 1. This is a retro ad that we have repurposed for obviously our own needs, but this is sort of our own fair use creation based on another work.
Dating Square. Increase the odds you'll find something meaningful and long term.
So we're trying to build this kind of content and have an inventory of this content throughout our socials and throughout our online history, if you will. And generally speaking, we've been doing a good job of building relationships with other stakeholders outside of our organization, which is also very important for us and also a big part of our marketing. This is generally looked at as being sort of a partnership or this kind of co-branded, sponsored content that we're creating with other influencers and content creators. And the best example that we have is with Chad Huber. He has 400,000 people on TikTok that follow him. And when we approached him over a year ago, he had no presence on YouTube. And we had a YouTube channel with about 6,000 subscribers, or maybe about 6,500 subscribers. And we repurposed that channel for him and basically gave him an audience on YouTube because he had basically zero subscribers on YouTube. And we started creating unique content made from his TikTok content. So now when people search for him on YouTube, they find content that we've created with our volunteers and that has our 65 Square branded campaigns embedded into them, which is all done for free. And this is the kind of thing that our business development team and our marketing teams are working towards building more relationships like this. Because ultimately, we want to be kind of, expanding the reach of our brand. And the only way that we're going to be able to do that is by people that have a bigger audience than us and having them give us a validation of sorts. So some key milestones over the next 12 months. Dating Square beta testing is hopefully going to happen in the next 30 days. Dating Square's release shortly thereafter. We are ramping up our marketing campaigns. We are finishing up the design on our full social media system and also concurrently working on development of the full social media system and also doing beta testing of the full social media system. We're hoping by Q3 of 2025. I think a slide is missing here, but generally it was just wrapping up and kind of talking about a call to action, which is really about getting all of our stakeholders, our immediate stakeholders, engaged and continued to talk about our brands and to talk about the work that they're doing inside the organization, whatever that may be. It's to essentially be pushing people towards our socials and also keeping an ear to the ground and keeping their eyes open for potential influencers or content creators that we could possibly partner with in the future. So those are the main pieces of fat and protein at the meal tonight. Ramakanta, did you have any questions?
Yes, it's a nice presentation, and it's good to see the development plan. So my question is that do we have any monetization plan for the Dating Square as we are planning to release it?
Yes. So Dating Square is basically a paid subscription service. So people have to, it's basically ad free, and we have basically our users paying for the service that they're going to get. When we offer the industry something different than what it's used to, they're going to want something different in return. The industry, the dating industry, the online dating industry, is primarily built on advertising. So most people have come to expect that it's free. Most men on dating apps have a different experience, and that's because I would say about 70% of men, statistics tell us, pay for dating apps in some fashion. They pay for some kind of premium type service. So men are used to paying for service, but they don't really get much in return. They don't really increase their odds. They don't really, make more meaningful connections. Statistics are basically telling us that men are fed up with dating apps. And we know already that females are fed up with dating apps. So we need to provide them something unique and something special. And in that regard, we think for 3 months at $30 for 3 months, we provide something exceptional. So whether or not we can sustain a business off of $30 a month is yet to be seen. Our scale up costs are going to, depending on our audience, our estimations are somewhere in the 100,000 person range. If we have 100,000 people using our service, which is quite possible for our first year. I mean, we're shooting for 5,000 for our first year. But if we were, by some magic wand, getting 100,000 subscribers, paying anywhere from $30 to $50 per year for our service, we could be looking at somewhere in the ballpark of $800,000, and then our expenses ballooning to about $15,000 per month. So we've built the system so that it can scale easily. Right now, the basic minimum costs coming out of my pocket, my personal pocket, hopefully being reimbursed for one day, is about $250 a month. And that's just for our server infrastructure. That's nothing else. That is just basic servers. And these servers will last us for our first 300 to 400 users. And then once we have 300 to 400 users, we have to upgrade our servers and add more servers. So that's generally the game plan, is that we're going nice and slow. We're going at a pace that doesn't cost us a lot up front. And that's primarily thankful to our volunteers, because we wouldn't have been able to come this far without our volunteer workforce. And yeah, generally speaking, our users are going to be paying for the service.
Have we thought about, going to the venture capitalist or the angel investors with the business plan and ask for the money?
Well, we've thought about that. We actually had one of our team members go and apply for Dragon's Den. We got rejected for Dragon's Den because we were pre-revenue. And generally speaking, the for-profit 65square company was made a for-profit entity for that specific reason, so that we could bring in investments, and so that we could also offer benefits like a profit sharing program, which we have in place, to our team members, because we need to be able to have long-term sustainability. And one of the keys for us having long-term sustainability is having team members that are with us for the long term. So right now we have about 5 or 6 people, maybe 7, maybe 5 or 6 people, maybe 7 people that have signed up and paid for our profit sharing program. And our profit sharing program essentially is only allowed because we have a for-profit entity. So that also opens the door for us being able to bring in other types of investments as well. So yeah, we haven't openly shopped, aside from Dragon's Den, for anything that would be, remotely considered to be angel financing or any kind of financing like that. But it's definitely in it's in the back pocket if we were to need it. And I don't know that we need it right now, because I think the most important thing for us is to get the app on the app stores. And once we do that, now we will kind of see what our demand is. and how we can start building our brand, it will kind of start looking like it will start going in a different direction.
Yeah. Okay. Once we release, I think we should have a plan, because otherwise we don't invest in the marketing budget, then you will not be able to build the community can reach, because we have to reach to the people.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things why we are focusing on building community with our social media right now. I mean, this is all it's doing for free. All of the content that we have up on our YouTube channels was essentially captured for free, minus some travel expenses and stuff. But, generally speaking, we have, I think it was, 54,000 views that we've had on the YouTube channel in the last year. And that's 54,000 views that we didn't pay for, which is extraordinary. And not only that, but we have this audience now. I think it's only about 300 subscribers or 330 subscribers on our YouTube channel, which is our most important avenue for marketing. We don't have a very big following on YouTube, but we're getting big views, which is good. That it's not converting better into subscribers is to be expected. But ultimately, we're getting people seeing our content, and we're not paying for it right now. We are going to do some paid advertising. There's probably a budget right now of about $500 that we can do for this. That's going to get us another 150,000 views, probably almost overnight. And that's, once we have a product to point people to, once we have, some kind of, click here to download the app embedded in an ad, that becomes invaluable. And then we can really start to determine the price for our, what it costs us to get a customer. And that's something that we just don't know right now. How is it that we can judge our costs to acquire a customer before we've even put our goods or services on the app stores? It's impossible. So we need to kind of go one step at a time and kind of test things out and see what it actually takes to acquire a customer. But we need to have the ability to have customers first, and that's key. So the app on the app stores is the first step. But the good news is that it only goes up. YouTube, all of these, the 65scan app, Dating Square, it only goes up from here. We're at the bottom. So, when we go on the app stores for Dating Square, there's only users that we can add to it. I mean, we can't go backwards. So that's the beautiful thing. Did you have any last questions?
It's okay. That's it.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. Our next committee meeting is in January. I think it was on January 10th. So we'll be seeing you. Oh, wait a minute. We have a board meeting on the 8th. So yeah, our next committee meeting is on January 10th. So have a safe, happy New Year. And if you're celebrating the holidays, happy holidays. And thanks for joining today.
Thank you. Happy holidays. Bye.
Bye-bye.